Howdy music fans, thanks for tuning in. I was not planning on doing this video, just like I wasn't planning on doing a Show Your Stones video, but I saw somebody else do one and there's a thread and an invitation to do it. So I did it, and I just saw the same thing from the Neil Young, and I just got recently turned on to this new channel by a young woman named Shannon D. I will put her link down in the bottom there. She is fantastic. She does an excellent job of describing everything, the details, her knowledge, her enthusiasm is just exquisite, and she's one of a kind. She's really good at these videos, so I highly recommend you check her out. She's way more open-minded musically than I am. I'm more curmudgeonly about my musical tastes, but she has a Show Your Neil Young video up that she caught onto that thread from a friend of hers named Glen, so I'm going to have to check his channel out now too. So thank you, Glenn, and thank you, Shannon. With that, I'm going to get started. I'm wearing my John Prine shirt because my Neil Young shirt, the only one I know for sure I have, a Ragged Glory Tour one, is buried in a box somewhere. But when I was on the road, living out of my car in the early 90s maybe, I ran into a bunch of hippies that I got swept up with into a rainbow gathering, the very first one in Mississippi. We were stuck between a hunting grounds and a military base. It was actually quite kind of scary. And much like now, what's happening now, we got harassed by police a lot. We did not get harassed by locals. They loved us. They brought us food and they hung out with us around the fire. It was a lot of fun. But I believe that's the place in my life where I heard this next little tiny story. And that's why I'm wearing my John Prine shirt. There's somebody telling us about some years ago, he had a bunch of acres of land, and it's a very short story, and big open fields, and he saw late at night a couple of guys screwing around out there, and he went out to see what was going on. He might have even pulled a gun on him, and it turns out when he got up to him close with a flashlight, it was Neil Young and John Prine picking mushrooms in his on his farm. Mushrooms. So I thought that was hilarious. Whether it's true or not, who the hell knows? But there's got to be stories out there that are true that show that John Prine and Neil Young were friends, or at least knew each other or crossed paths. So, and they're both so fantastic as songwriters. So Neil Young was one of my all-time heroes. I was a huge Neil Young fan as a kid. Absolutely adored him. Loved everything he did. Obsessed. Collected everything. And I had so much more on vinyl when I was a teenager than I do now on CD as an adult. Because I've kind of weeded out things I ended up not liking so much over the years. Got less obsessive about my collecting with Neil. My favorite song as a kid, when I believed you could have such a thing, was After the Gold Rush, and I learned it on guitar. And I remember that's the first song I ever played in front of a big audience, in front of my high school, which was a little weird. I went to an all-black high school in Baltimore City, or majority black high school, and I don't know that was something that anybody was really into. And a friend sang the words. I was a horrible singer. And I played guitar, but it was my first appearance in front of a lot of people, so that was really kind of cool. And that was a Neil Young song. So here we go. I'm not going to be nearly as detailed as Shannon was, so I highly encourage you to check out her Neil Young video. It is fantastic. I do not have his first record. It never did a lot for me. I did have it as a kid, but I don't now. But I start with Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere, and this is just a flawless masterpiece. As a kid, I didn't like Round and Round as much because it was slower. Now, as an adult, and I know I like every song on this album. It's short, it's 7 songs. A lot of the songs are long, as you probably know, like Down by the River and Cowgirl in the Sand. But it is just, there's not a bad song on the album. It's a masterpiece. I think it's just a fantastic record, and I love the sound. I just love Ragged Glory. I think they're a fantastic band. I'm sorry, I love Crazy Horse. They're on Ragged Glory, and Ragged Glory was one of the tours where I saw him, and I think that's the one where Sonic Youth and Social Distortion played as well. And I love Social Distortion. Not a big Sonic Youth fan. I actually stepped out for their set, but that was a show I wasn't sure I was going to go to. It was a big arena concert, and I don't remember why I wasn't sure, but I heard an interview with Neil Young on the radio the night before, and he said that Crazy Horse was like the third greatest garage rock band in the world. And when the interviewer asked who was the first, he said it was the Rolling Stones. So I was like, okay, I'm going to buy a ticket, and I did. Next, another flawless masterpiece. After the Gold Rush, I wore this album out. Could not stop listening to it. Loved it. Like I say, my favorite song, when I believed you could have a favorite song, was on this. But the whole album is fantastic. I'm not a huge fan of what's. Oh, wait a minute. This isn't the one. I think it's what I'm thinking of. Oh, he does "Oh Lonesome Me," the old country Don Gibson song. Very, very slow, very different, and it's great. Actually, yeah, no, I'm wrong. This album. I like every single song. It's the next one, Harvest, where I'm not a big fan of the big orchestrated things on here, like There's a World and Man Needs a Maid. I wasn't a big fan of, but it's a fantastic album. I mean, I like almost the whole thing, and I did then too. Are You Ready for the Country is one that he did with Waylon Jennings, and Waylon Jennings covered it and puts in his sets, put it in his sets. Next, I got rid of all these CDs to just buy this little box set because it was cheapo and cool to have them all. And then I got rid of my Time Fades Away CD, which is a bummer because I could have given it to Shannon now because I know she needs one, but I didn't know that. This was years ago. I didn't know any of this. But anyway, this set is just phenomenal. Time Fades Away was one that I didn't understand as a kid why he didn't. I mean, I had it on vinyl and record, but as an adult, I didn't understand why he didn't release this because I thought, I mean, it's an all live album with no. I don't know how you get into this thing anymore. It's an all live album. Yeah, I'm not so thrilled about all this packaging, but it's an all live album with no, all new songs. Every song on it is only on this album. I mean, not only on this album, but none of these songs made it to a studio album, to my knowledge. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I might be. But at the time it came out, I believe every single song on here was never heard anywhere else. On the Beach, John Langford covers Revolution Blues, as does maybe Cracker or David Lowery solo. Somebody does it also, but this album is flawless as well. Another fantastic one. He has Neil Young has a real knack for doing short albums that are incredible. Like, and of course you might say, well, it's harder to do a long album that's incredible, and that makes sense. But it's also hard to give the listener everything they really want in 6, 7, 8, 9 songs, in my opinion. Especially somebody like me who likes more all the time. I need to get over that. Anyway, this album is, there isn't a bad song on it. So, I highly recommend that one. Zuma, of course. I'm not doing these in order, or maybe I am. I'm trying to do them in chronological order. Tonight's the Night is one of another flawless masterpiece that is just a great record. Very sad, depressed record. He was dealing with a lot of death at the time, but it's excellent. And highly recommend that one. And then Zuma is another one that just, I think I like everything. Oh, I love Don't Cry No Tears. I like Danger Bird. I like Pardon My Heart. Yeah, Looking for a Love. Barstool Blues, Stupid Girl. Not the same Stupid Girl the Stones do. They're both, he wrote his and they wrote theirs. Drive Back is great. Cortez the Killer is phenomenal. I mean, everything on here is just excellent. It's just such a great little run of albums there. And this was after after Harvest and after the Gold Rush. So very consistent writing there. And everybody knows This Is Nowhere. This was a very prolific time for him. This was his golden age. This was like his, like the Stones' golden run or Dylan's era from going electric there. Well, even Dylan's first 4 acoustic albums are fantastic. But anyway, I don't want to get into Dylan. This is Neil Young. Really prolific period for him. Then American Stars and Bars, which is one of my favorites and always was. The old country waltz I like. Saddle Up the Palomino I like it because it's more country record. Hey Babe, Hold Back the Tears, Bite the Bullet, Star of Bethlehem, Will to Love, Like a Hurricane, Homegrown. I like every single song on this album. So, and it's a great cover with Neil Young's face smashed up against the window drunkenly. So that's excellent. And then Tuscaloosa, apparently looking at Shannon's video, and she also mentioned, Glen said this, I have to get live at the Roxy, so I plan to get that when I can. You can never find that inexpensive, but anyway, here is live. This is one of his later archival series, live in Tuscaloosa. And it's great. It's with the Stray Gators. I think that's the same band on Time Fades Away. I can't remember. He's had so many bands he's played with so many crazy names. Um, and then another reissue series, Live at the Fillmore 1970. It's another good one with Crazy Horse. This is a real rock and electric album. His ability to go between acoustic and electric is fantastic. Here's an acoustic one, Massey Hall in 71. He goes between guitar and piano, and there may even be a little banjo on this, and probably plenty of harmonica. I'm one of the people that loves Neil Young's guitar playing. I love how simple it is. I didn't think it was simple as a kid, but I just love how expressive and emotional it is. And I love how he transitions so flawlessly between acoustic and electric. He's a master at that, these two sides of him. Comes a Time. I loved this album when I was a kid. I think, every single song probably. I haven't been as into Neil Young in the last, I don't know, decade or two as I used to be, but I still hold him dear. Rust Never Sleeps. This is another one a little bit like, or maybe completely like, Time Fades Away, where all these songs are only on this record, at least up to this point, I believe. I don't have, or maybe I do. I'm not sure if I have Reactor. Reactor's another one that I really did like as a kid a lot. Live Rust. That's a great live album. I think it's half acoustic, half electric, half with Crazy Horse, and of course he did the Rust Never Sleeps movie, which I also have off of this. I've got a lot of Neil Young DVDs. Some of them are bootlegs, some of them are legit releases, some of them I transferred from my VHS to my DVD when I did that. And this came out recently. This plugged in a hole in that early 70s run called Homegrown. I'm going to talk more about this in my 2020 year in review roundup. Hawks and Doves. This one, as a kid, I also absolutely loved. I think I loved every single song on this record. I just couldn't get enough of this record. Again, it's pretty country. Captain Kennedy, there's some really silly stuff, like some chipmunk type talking or singing on one of these songs. That might be the one, I forget. But as a kid, I remember I loved every song on this album, and I still think it's a fantastic record. It holds true. Old Ways. I think there's a duo with Waylon on this, maybe duet with Waylon, and maybe with Willie or Waylon. Maybe it's Willie. I forget, but this is one where he tried to do an actual country album, and he pulls it off pretty well. Some great pedal steel, of course, in there. I'm missing a lot of Neil Young albums. Some of them are ones I just didn't like, and some of them are ones I don't know, didn't bother to get again. Year of the Horse, another live one. He's put out many of them. I think I bought this just because it was really cheap, and I like Neil Young, and I looked at the song list, and I thought, well, that'll be great. It's with Crazy Horse, and so like it was, probably a couple bucks or something. It's a double CD. Ragged Glory. This was really his return to form. Gold. This record is just spot on, phenomenal, absolutely great with Crazy Horse. Nothing wrong with this album. I mean, it is just wonderful. Great, really distorted guitars, really heavy swinging Crazy Horse sound. And then this was another one that I got really cheap, Weld. I think that's disc 1, live set. And I found it somewhere for probably $1 a disc or something. And I thought, well, I should have that. It's Neil Young and Crazy Horse live. And I know about this album. And I think I had it on cassette when I was a kid, too. Harvest Moon is another one that was a big comeback album for him. It has, From Hank to Hendrix and Unknown Legend, or whatever it is. What is it? Unknown Legend and Harvest Moon, which are big comebacks. As I recall, when I listened to this record, I don't know that I like everything else on it, and I don't remember it very well, so that'll tell you something. But it's heralded as a great Neil Young album. Speaking of great Neil Young albums, I may be the only one, but I think Greendale is a masterpiece. I love every song on this album. I think it's fantastic. I think it comes with a DVD of the movie, and I don't know if I've ever watched the movie, I'll admit. But I absolutely love this record. It's very raw. It's very Crazy Horse-ish. It's Crazy Horse. and it's very kind of a rock and blues type record in his how he does blues. Really great. Then Prairie Wind. Is this Prairie Wind? No, this is Silver and Gold. Silver and Gold was also, I thought, a very good album, as I recall. I don't remember it very well, but I do remember liking it on first listen and second or third listen. Neil Young with the International Harvesters. Well, of course I like this. This is called A Treasure. This may be at, I'm not sure if this is at Austin City Limits or not, but there are bootlegs of this band going around. This is a real country tour for him, real country sets. And yeah, this was just fantastic. I love this record. Then Fork in the Road. I like this one. This is another, I think, Crazy Horse, and it's just straight ahead, great, Neil Young. It's very Crazy Horse sounding. It's just solid. I mean, he gets with this sound that he sticks to in his acoustic vein and his electric vein that I really just like, and then he veers from it, and I like it less. Like in his albums, like Trans, or was it Transformer? Trans, I think, the one with the car, the space age one. My brother went to see him on that tour. He said people walked out like crazy. And then Neil Young and the Blue Notes I had on cassette and album as a kid. I don't have it anymore. It's okay. It's a lot of horns, and it's trying to be a blues band, I guess, that kind of blues band. And then he did the rock and roll one. What's the name of that one? Now I can't remember. I liked that one as a kid. The one with all the crazy 50s style rock and roll songs, and it had a pink cover and his hair slicked back and he's in a white suit. And then there was the one Reactor, which I mentioned earlier. I liked, I think, one side of it, the one rockin' side, and I probably didn't like another side that was more electronic. And then he's had tons of albums in the 80s and 90s and 2000s that I don't know anything about, or I used to have and didn't listen to much, like Mirror Ball and Broken Arrow. I didn't care for a whole lot. I don't remember why. Freedom, I don't know why I don't have Freedom in here, because I liked a lot of it. I think I've had it, and I don't know why I've gotten rid of it. I know I've had it on cassette, and I think I've had it on CD. Last is Psychedelic Pill. This is a double album, Crazy Horse again, and it's that same classic sound, and I remember liking it when I heard it, and so I wanted it, and I bought it. And yeah, honestly, though, I haven't heard any of these in a long time. His older stuff is just, lodged in my brain forever, but some of the newer stuff I don't know as well. Neil Young, El Dorado is a little EP he made. I burned this probably from my cassette that I bought, I imagine. I think I liked this. Cocaine Eyes, Don't Cry, Heavy Love on Broadway, and El Dorado. I think this was pretty good, as I recall. And then Everybody's Rockin'. Oh, there it is. That's the one. Everybody's Rockin'. Betty Lou's Got a New Pair of Shoes. Raining in My Heart. Payola Blues. I think most of these were actually originals. He did do Bright Lights, Big City, which is, of course, not, and Mystery Train. But I think these are all Neil Young, his versions of 50s rock and roll songs. I don't have Colorado. I don't know anything about it. I don't have the one Lanois. I don't have the one that was at the payphone. I don't have Americana. I think I got it from the library and downloaded it and thought it was okay. And God, there's so many of them. Anyway, I do have this, which is a bootleg box set collection of wonderful live stuff, and this is how it's laid out as a box set. And then here's what's, disc 1, disc 2, disc 3, disc 4. I saw this for $30 at a local store around the corner, and I just thought, well, I gotta get that. And I think I had a lot of trade at the store. I traded in a lot of stuff with this guy, oftentimes. A lot of stuff in this booklet. Wonderful, wonderful booklet. I mean, when bootleggers do it up, that's what I like. When they really do the packaging nice. I mean, if the sound is good too, of course. They package, they put lipstick on a pig. It doesn't work as well. But this has got a lot of pretty good quality stuff on it, and this is all the tour dates, and it's information about every song and where every song is from, what venue, what date. So that's pretty wonderful. Landing on Water was another one I had. I think I ended up not liking. There's so many, I can't remember them all. But Life was one I think I had, yeah. And then of course these ones, that little run, Are You Passionate, and one with maybe War and Roses or something like that. And I never got into any of those, but some of them I did try. to listen to. I got them out from the library and checked them out and maybe downloaded them, but I just didn't end up liking them. I have this Neil Young book, which I read as a kid. Love this picture of him. Absolutely love this picture. He is one of the quintessential rock stars. He's up there with Bob and Keith in my book as a rock star. And he's, yeah, just so great. I've got a lot of DVDs. I mentioned that already, I guess, didn't I? And I've read the book Shaky. It's not an autobiography, but a biography. I highly, highly recommend Shaky. That is the quintessential epitome of the Neil Young book. That really tells the story. It is fantastic. In the back, it looked like there's some, yeah, a kind of a discography back here as well. So, anyway, that's it for my Neil Young. So thank you so much to Shannon for starting me on this, and thank you to Glen, who I'll check out, for starting her on this to get me on this. And please check out their channels. Shannon has Glen's channel on her Neil Young video, and I'll put her channel on my Neil Young video. And thanks so much for tuning in. Please subscribe. I'm just getting started on this. I'd love to have more subscribers. Please comment. I'd love to hear what you think. And hit the like or whatever. Anyway, thanks so much and have a great day.